republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll.
Brent Bassoon.
Here.
Tobin.
Here.
Kleiner.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
John Francois.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Massey.
Here.
President Rodriguez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Correspondence.
Nothing this evening.
For the good of the city, anyone like to address the council? Anyone online?
Not at this time.
Okay. Remarks to the mayor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you didn't finish?
Yes. I just ended. You were sleeping.
Oh, Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, Sleepy Joe, right?
Touche. I earned that.
Okay. I wanted to update you on our second panel discussion that we had July 14th here in the council chambers. This is in regards to the governor's directive regarding community and policing, and how we, eventually you as a body, are going to vote on any recommendations or guidance or whatever you feel like voting on as we approach that April deadline. Up on the board are the members of the committee. Bishop Rollins is the co-chairman. We have some representatives from the community themselves, some representatives of the school district, the Orange County District Attorney is on there, police chief, and we've had two pretty lengthy meetings. First was close to 3 hours, and we limited the last meeting to 90 minutes. On the topics that the first meeting, as I reported earlier, it was just an open session, so everyone got to know each other and had basically say what you wanted. And so we sort of took a long time, but at least everyone got a feeling for what was on everybody's mind, and we asked them to then articulate that, their thoughts into, so we can focus down on to certain issues. So at the July 14th, we had three topics. First was defund police, and the topic that you see nationally, and I have stated my position very clearly that I believe it's a foolish line, and I don't think it's a practical thing for us to do here in the city of Middletown. And when we got into the details of what defund police means to a small municipality like Middletown, I think people were confusing the fact that larger cities control things like mental health. They control schools. They control the different programs that impact where they're saying to defund. Now, of course, there's different meanings for defund. Some people want to do is eliminate police, which really makes no sense. Others want to divert money from program policing into some of these other programs. But in New York State, in Orange County, the mental health money is passed through the county. So the county runs the mental health group. They run mobile mental health. We all agreed that it's underfunded. I believe there are 1 or 2 units for county-wide. Chief Iwanchu has spoken to the mental health unit. They said that they're facing a cut in this year's county budget. And I believe they did say they have 2 units of 4 people for 7-day-a-week, 24-hour coverage for the entire county. So we're going to advocate that the county put more funding into the mental health and mobile mental health programs, not cut those programs, but those funds will not be coming through the City of Middletown Police Department. In fact, by the end of the discussion, there was an agreement that we, and there was a motion from one of the organizers of the protests that we not pursue defunding police, that we look at other issues as we move forward, and then we'll have a full detailed report on what we feel is important as it relates to this topic. But I think it's a foolish issue, and I think practically for a city like Middletown, it's a foolish issue, and probably almost any community, I think it's a horrible game plan. And we produced statistics about when Middletown was its highest crime points were when we had militarized police, when we had tanks on the streets, and at our lowest points, which are like right now, and over the last few years, when we eliminated the SWAT team is when which goes into the second issue of demilitarization, is when our crime rates started coming down. We also talked about how we have, one of the issues of defund means investing in your youth in your community, and I don't believe any community in the Hudson Valley has invested more in youth and youth programs than the city of Middletown, including the expansion of our park programs, our recreation programs, both for kids and adults, the cooperation between the Orange County Police Academy and the Police Chiefs Association, and our new recreation center, where there'll be programs run by the police department to build that bond between youth and police in our community. So I was quite surprised that after quite a while of discussion that the motion came up and everyone was in agreement that defund the police is not an appropriate topic for the city of Middletown for that panel to recommend to the commission or to the Common Council. We were also able to demonstrate that demilitarization of the police. As you know, in 2004, I did veto that, the creation of a SWAT unit, for a few reasons. One, I felt it was a duplication because of state police and the sheriff's department have SWAT units. It's utilized very infrequently. The amount of overtime it would cost, plus all the other benefits, not benefits, all the other negatives that you see now from the having tanks rolling down your street. I mentioned the story about Alderman Massey and I standing on Prince Street one day when there was a person refused to leave their house, I believe it was, or was hiding in a closet, and all of a sudden a tank comes rolling up the street, made the wrong turn, but he recalls that, he's laughing, but the fear in the neighbors' faces, you could see it at that time, that, like, what the hell's going on here? And so that was back in 2006, 2007, when it was reinstated after I left office in 2005. Back in 2010, we once again eliminated the SWAT team. We have a memorandum of agreement with the Sheriff's Department and the MOU, a memorandum of understanding with the Sheriff's Department and the State Police that if a hostage situation or some situation that would require a SWAT team, that is accessible for us through the county if necessary. But the chief has also made it clear that the old uniforms for the certain officers that were on duty that had that military look, or the camouflage and the gloves and the glasses, that he does not use that our police are in police uniforms or the detective squads in suits. We talked a little bit about the names. All of our officers wear name tags. There will be discussion about handing out business cards. I don't see a downside to it. So we'll probably end up doing that or making that recommendation. But it appeared that and it was a very short discussion on that they were very happy with what we had talked about. The third area was body cameras. I did acknowledge that we've been a little slow to the game on body cameras. Our position over the years under Chief Bethencourt and continued on through the most recent police commission, but even on police commissions prior to that. Matter of fact, Mr. Bishop Rollins was on one of the commissions where we decided not to do body cameras, and for a couple reasons. And one of them may have been selfish. That might have been the cost. Two, there was no direct guidance from the state because the state police did not have state body cameras. And it was sort of hodgepodge on how individual departments were doing it, how they were storing data, what was public information. The state has now come out with some clear guidance on body cameras. So the chief has looked into the state-of-the-art technology. Company's been around quite a while. I believe it is on a state bid. But it's not just the purchase of the equipment that is the problem. That's part of the cost. And by the way, some police officers, and I believe probably more than a majority, are now in support of body cameras. They see the benefits of that. But the system that we're looking at will have sensors where if a taser is pulled, the camera will activate. If a gun is pulled, the camera will activate. The red lights go on. the camera will activate. And there will be a 2-minute loop, meaning that if a police officer gets out of their car and forgets to turn on their camera, but at some point either does or comes on by sensor, then from that point back 2 minutes, you'll be able to capture that data. So it's the state-of-art technology. It comes with a cost. The program we're looking at, and we'll have to, when we get to our budget, we'll be deciding this, is a 10-year program, $1.5 million over the 10 years. So figure $150,000 a year. It's a 2.5 years. We get new systems, new equipment, including tasers that tie into this. But also, there's going to be a manpower requirement because the data has to be sanitized before it goes out to the public. And we're going to need at least one person, possibly 1.5, someone to be trained when the other officer is not available, in sanitizing the data that comes off of the video. So we're anticipating, so not defunding the police, we're anticipate funding them by an additional $250,000 plus per year in order to meet that, that important milestone for the city. Back onto the COVID now. As you can see, we're just below 11,000 cases in Orange County. Middletown is still number 2 on the list. We have been getting, as I've reported previously, a lot of compliance, but we do have some concerns lately about some of the park areas, skate park, and the police have made frequent stops there, and so we are concerned about it, and if we don't get more compliance, we'll have to end up shutting it down again. I know the council president notified me last night of a large crowd there. What we have asked them to do is to, when they're skating, we can understand them taking their mask down, lowering their mask, but when they're standing there, grouping together, they need to have a mask on and or stay 6 feet apart. It's properly signed, but we need more compliance from them. Getting a lot of questions on the senior center. We're not ready to open it, and also a lot of calls continue. We continue to get calls about recreation programs, and as you know, one of the most controversial things we did was to, well, not we, because you didn't vote on it, I guess I did, was to not have summer camps, close the pools, and I think I made the right call, and under the direction and advice of Chris Brinkerhoff, our Superintendent of Parks and Rec. Some people felt it was a financial decision. It wasn't. It was a decision to protect their kids. And as you can see now, a lot of the summer camps that have opened nationwide are starting to close, and the dangers that exist with trying to keep kids safe in that environment, which will lead into the school issue at some point. We continue to ask for people to participate with the directions from the CDC and face coverings in City Hall. We did reopen City Hall last week. We do have a person at the door still, so most people are complying. We have our daily health screening forms that we sign ourselves, that everyone coming into the building. We have actually had 2 people that have answered the questions honestly and were refused entry into City Hall. And so it does work. We continue to clean and disinfect all of our buildings on a regular basis, and also all of our parks 7 days a week. All playground equipment is done with the new steamers that we bought, and we have had some inquiries about that also. And we do it early morning and each and every day. So we are in phase 4, but phase 4 does not mean that we can't go back to phase 3 or some more restrictions on phase 4. The governor has made it perfectly clear that he is not happy with what's going on statewide, especially in downstate. I know today they revoked 3 more liquor licenses on restaurants down in Queens. I believe it makes a total of 27 statewide that are not in compliance. So if you have a bar or a restaurant and you're not in compliance, and you need to come into compliance, otherwise you face the risk of having your license suspended and or revoked and large penalties. We continue to remind people who are in business that we do have a small business relief program that is funded through monies through Maria Bruni's department. This is federal money that is specifically targeted towards businesses that need possibly working capital. It's a 0% interest loan, $5,000 per eligible applicant, and it can be used for working capital, back rent, whatever your needs are. So contact that office. The construction in and around the downtown and on the perimeter of the downtown, Highland, West Main, Franklin Street, and some of the parking lots downtown continues. We hit a little bit of a stumbling block across the street here with buried foundations from many years ago that thankfully that did test negative for asbestos, but it delayed the project. And Jacob worked diligently with with our engineer and the contractor to do some field redesign of the water drainage system because of the problems that are there in the parking lot. So they've removed quite a bit of building material, C&D material, and so it did delay the project a little bit. This afternoon they were back up and running on James Street, and Orchard Street I know is moving pretty smoothly also. Coach USA, thought I'd bring it up before Jerry asked me. We did have a very productive meeting this week, myself and Jacob, along with the new county planner, Alan Sorensen, and HVEA, which are the trail architects, and some other staff from the county, their engineer staff. And actually, we had better news than we thought we would get. We thought we were starting to get a little pushback at one point because Coach absolutely has not been cooperative. As you know, they were purchased, and their focus has changed from doing this terminal over to not doing it. And now they're using COVID as an excuse. May not be some truth to that, but regardless, we need this project to move forward. The county has expressed to us that, Mr. Sorensen, that he believes that not only can we continue with the project, but the county will be able to fund it at 100%. As you know, we were talking about possibly kicking in 10%, and also expanding the program to make it a sort of a tourist hub with the paid bikes like you see in New York City. And he has some very nice plans, and we're now securing the final easements that are necessary to bring the trail from East Main Street in and through the city. And we'll have a follow-up meeting, I believe, in 2 weeks with the County Parks and Rec. So the project is once again moving in the right direction. Census, don't forget about the census. We're still about 3 points behind the state average on the self-reporting. We want to thank the Nobody Leaves Mid-Hudson. They've been doing some work on Saturday mornings at some of the grocery stores, Garcia's and Associated, or Market Fresh, and they've been very helpful. I don't know if those numbers are yet reflected from this weekend in their efforts at the farm market, but they have been very helpful. Vanessa Sid and her group from Nobody Leaves Mid-Hudson. So we want to thank them publicly for that. And Maria's team, Caitlin, is running it for the city. If you haven't seen our commercials that from the police department, they're in English and Spanish, and we plan on doing more outreach to different groups. We want to do something with the Asian community and more with the Latino community. The maps that we get from the Census Bureau indicate the higher, some of the minority neighborhoods are not participating as well in response as some of the other neighborhoods in the city. So we do have more work to do, but we need to get those numbers up, and not only to the state level, but above the state level. We should, in self-reporting, we should be much higher than 53.7% or whatever we were. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for the mayor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right. Remarks of the department heads, economic development.
Good evening, everyone. Our office has been working on a few projects. We have a couple RFPs, requests for proposals out there. We extended the 35 Clemson property to, the opening is going to be July 30th. Also, the Academy Avenue building, the former Park and Rec building, there's a request for proposals out, and that's due August 13th. We resumed housing rehab projects. I believe Gene has about 4 projects out to bid. So all that is starting to resume, again, following guidelines, social distancing, and the homeowners are acceptive of the social distancing, and they are all good with everything. Also, on the Community Development Agency front, the Wickham Avenue house we were working on is complete. We're going into contract as we speak, and the other house, 198, started demo and rehab also. So, also on the COVID front, the mayor mentioned the small business loan program. Please contact our office if you're interested to have a conversation and talk about the program and get an application. We updated our COVID relief business guide. It has other links and information on other business opportunities, funding for your business as well, and that's all on our website. On the DRI front, the facade program is moving. We have about 3 more properties wrapping up, so we're about halfway there with the properties being completed. And the farm market, they told me this past weekend was very well attended, and like the mayor mentioned as well, we had the census folks there, and I understand they got a lot of input, and they got a lot of people to sign up. So that's all I have for tonight.
Any question for Maria? Thank you,
Thank you.
Maria. DPW Commissioner.
Good evening, all. I want to start with, we had a vacancy in Deputy Commissioner for Water and Sewer since April this year, when Chris Gross decided to move to another position in different township. And we have been looking for a Deputy Commissioner since then. The COVID slowed us down. And then all of a sudden, I ran into Brian Smith, who used to be our Deputy Commissioner here in 2006. He was Deputy Commissioner for about a year and a half before he decided to leave us and go somewhere else. And he thought better of it, and now he wants to come back. So it's really my great pleasure to have Brian back to work with us, to be one of our guys. He's been always dedicated for the job, available 24 hours. He lives locally. Nothing scares him in terms of difficulty of the work. He has a lot of experience in field work. He's a good motivator for the men. I'm very happy that he decided to join us again. And I know the mayor and I interviewed him. I discussed it with the council president and some of the aldermen. And, I'm requesting that you support the appointment of the mayor for Brian Smith as it comes later on as a resolution. He'll be starting in August. He gave his work, his 30-day notice a couple of weeks ago. So he's ready to come back, and, he's a local guy, and he'll be very good addition for us. I've always said if there are a few people that I would recommend taking back to the mayor for his appointment, Brian was on the top of the list if he ever decided to come back, and he decided, and we're happy to have him. Moving forward, just to let you know, we started the mayor advised about that a couple of weeks ago, I think. We started the inspection, the interior inspection for rental properties. There is a long checklist that our code enforcements have to verify, and they have to ask the landlord and the tenants before they go in there or before they even schedule the inspection. And that's very important, not only for the safety of our inspectors, some of them are relatively advanced in age, but also for the safety of the residents that we go and inspect their apartments. So please cooperate with the inspectors. This is a matter of life or death. It's not a joke. We can't short circuit anything in here. Either you try to get everybody out of the apartment before we come in, and the apartment has to be well ventilated before we come in, or they must have, whoever cannot leave the apartment must have masks on. We're going to maintain 6-foot separation. The most important is the apartment to be ventilated, completely ventilated before we come in. If anybody shows any symptoms of COVID, temperature, fever, please do not, we're not gonna go in, and we have to cancel the meeting, so, cancel the inspection, so please work with us. It's a matter of life or death, especially for any vulnerable population, among us or among you, the tenants or the landlords.
Jacob, it's that camera now, behind Burr.
No, I see the light.
I know, but it's this one, right here, behind.
This one? All right.
It's that one.
I was looking at Alderman Jude.
I don't know why you're looking up there, it's over there now.
She tricked me with the light?
Yeah,
You need a laser light, you can follow it.
She tricked me with the light. I'm looking at the light.
we're gonna buy you a teleprompter.
All right.
We're laughing with you, Commissioner, we're laughing with you.
Now look at Burr, don't look at Jude, look at Burr.
Look at Alderman Bear now. So, it's good to laugh in this
is.
very tense environment. I mean, with everybody running afraid and so on and so forth. But, so we appreciate everybody's cooperation. Going to Alderman Massey in there, I think he's taking the position that Council President Mosan used to take, which is asking me every 2 weeks about the reservoir levels, what condition we're in. So reporting to Alderman Massey and the Council President, everybody here, we are at 91% right now with our capacity for the reservoirs. We had very dry few months. We made up for it a little bit, but it's still relatively dry year after year.
Jacob, at this time of the year, under normal circumstances, is that good, bad, or indifferent?
It's going to vary. It's really, it could catch up, or it could be the beginning of a drought. You can never hang your hat on, unfortunately. 91%. Yeah, he said, is it relatively at the same level this time of the year? That's what he asked. No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's all right. But, again, that's why we endeavor at all times to manage our reservoirs so they are full, at full capacity as much as possible. That's why we have weekly decision which valves to open, which valves to close sometimes in order to keep them topped off, because you never know when a drought is going to start. This could be a start of a drought, as an example. We'll never know. Happened to us 2016, we had
Get a lot
many
of
drought.
snow.
I'm
Don't
sorry?
worry, we'll get a lot of snow.
Yeah.
We'll pay for it.
We want to make it from now until the snow period, though. Because our issue, again, our reservoirs are small. We have very small, limited capacity in storage. That's why we need to top them off as much as possible, divert water wherever we can to keep them.
Are the hikers
top.
drinking water?
I'm sorry?
The hikers are drinking?
New York Rising project, I know the mayor, he tried to report as much as he can, but I'll pick up wherever he left off with the capital projects. New York Rising project, design is progressing, is moving along regarding replacing the culvert under West Main Street, which is the Manhagan Brook culvert, and replacing the Draper Brook culvert where it crosses Grant Street. And many of you aldermen have brought it to my attention, Grant Street and the steel plates and all that stuff. So hopefully all that will be replaced. So that's moving along well. Mayor advised on ADA curbs and sidewalks. They're moving along. Franklin, West Main, Highland. Hopefully towards the end of this week they'll start putting up granite curb. Right now, they're just preparing as much as they can, so the subcontractor comes in and he puts a granite curb, then they can pour the concrete behind it, and that becomes a sidewalk. Downtown, again, the mayor, he reported on the project, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. It's just we're very cautious with this construction and demolishing material that we found. So we tested it for asbestos, like the mayor said, and we're going to be moving it tomorrow. DPW forces will be removing it off-site so that the construction will continue unimpeded with this fill material piled in the middle of it, and then it's going to be stockpiled until we finish our communication with DEC to make sure everything is okay. I'm 99.9% sure it's okay and there's nothing wrong with it. It just we have to go through the checks and balances within our system, bouncing it off the DEC. We have an environmental testing facility firm who's doing this communication for us with the DEC. That started today. Tomorrow we're going to be hauling the material out of the site, so work will continue. Like the mayor said, Orchard Street, drive by, you can see the granite curve. It's a granite curb. It's very nice. It's gonna be a nice project, I believe. Traffic operation, that's the $18 million project that we're gonna have to segment. Design is progressing. At the end of this month, the engineering firm, WSP, will be making final design submittal to the DOT. They promised to turn it around for us in 2 weeks so that we can have advertisement for bid in September this year, before the end of September, before the expo, because the federal fiscal year expires end of September. So that goes along with the DRI landscape, streetscape project, which is about $2.2 million. It goes along with it. Another project, which is the screw pump at the wastewater treatment plant. The screw pump has been, it's a $3 million project, so people will remember the size of the project. Pumps have been fabricated, manufactured, ready to ship. We're trying to have a conference phone call. We're working with EFC with a conference phone call regarding the funding and how do we order the control panels and variable frequency drives needed for it as part of what project. So we're trying to resolve some contractual and funding issues with EFC. But that project is moving along because the biggest thing is the pumps. They've been fabricated and on standby. Finished water pump station, that's another $2 million project in there. The fabrication of the pumps is moving along. Next week, they're going to start an actual excavation, installing electric conduits in preparation for the pump station to be erected on top of the clear well. That will retire 1989 pump station that's been working nonstop, that me and Jeff Schumer designed a million years ago when we were young, and we had hair at the time. It's still working and functioning properly. Water main project from the water treatment plant starting from the water treatment plant, replacing 1887 water mains, 24-inch and 12-inch. The project is ready to start construction. The contracts have been signed by the mayor and the contractor. We're trying to resolve some minor easement issues and alignment, and hopefully the construction will get started very soon. That's another $3.5 million project. Fancher Davidge expansion. The mayor and the council president, they decided to narrow the scope of work as much as possible to make it affordable. So the project is out for bid for any contractor who can do under drainage system, installation and field installation. The project is out for bid, so you can pick it up from the architect, send us an email or call us, and we'll put you in the right direction. But it should be a nice little project for anybody who's interested in it. And with that, I will conclude my remarks for now, if you have any questions for me.
Any question for Jacob? Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
The fire chief is online. If you have any questions for the fire chief. Chief, can you hear us? Chief has dial-up. Takes a while.
He is currently self-muted.
Good.
Not sure if he can unmute.
All right, no question for the fire chief. Superintendents of Recreation?
Good evening, everybody. One of the first things I like to say, I see on your new business, the mayor will be appointing Anthony Williams to a vacant slot in our Recreation Commission. We're thrilled at our department to have him on our team and working with us. He's a house principal over at the high school. He'll be another great resource on top of the great people we already have with the Recreation Department. So we're thrilled to have him, and Anthony, welcome to our team. Hampshire Park, we've had it closed for a while. The new equipment is in, the gates are open. Like other parks, the only thing not there is basketball hoops, but the public can use them. We put a portage on there, and the pavilion is open for rentals. All of our pavilions are open for rentals. We're halving the capacity. That's the limit at each. We've taken out some picnic tables, so there's less picnic tables. Right now, Saturdays and Sundays, basically every pavilion except for the ones in the back of Davidge, because you can't have over 50 anyway, they're being used. So the public's very happy that that's going on. We have programs running. Tennis started Monday for adults. We had a sign up for kids. We had one child sign up, and it's the older children. We're not doing younger children because it's hard to distance them, so we're working on older age groups. We're only allowing 12 to a program to start. We're going to stick with the numbers and do it safely. We have a KO Cardio, which was Saturday morning up at our new facility. A couple of the staff decided to involve, and they weren't walking very well on Monday morning. A great program. They have some, and that's for adults and teenagers. But right now, we have registration, and this is mainly for the public. We have registration right now for cheerleading, which will start August 4th, ages 8 to 12, very easily to distance. Flag football for ages 6 to 11 will start August 3rd, and that's clinics for flag football with Freddie Williams. Basketball will start July 8th. That's for middle school and high school, and it's basketball skills. It's not a game. So there'll be social distancing there. They'll be using our new gym.
Did you mean August 8th? You said July. August 8th.
July 28th.
28th.
Yep, July 28th. Thank you. So we have small programs starting. I know it doesn't make the public totally happy. I know they want their camps and they want their pools. Folks, I just saw on News 12 tonight, they're closing down pools because they can't handle the crowds. The numbers are too big. We would have had the same issue here. If you follow the COVID guidelines, 46 people at a time could be in Fancher Davidge Park Pool. Usually we have 346 people in. So the line would have been crazy. We are doing the right things. We're staying safe. Camps are having some difficulties and hiccups. They're handling them like the professionals that they are. But there's a lot of complications there, and I think the mayor and ourselves here in the city made a good decision on keeping our kids and our staff safe. So we're going to do the best we can. You'll also see we have some donations for the disc golf course. $700 of that came from what's called tag sales. In disc golf, they have little tags that people love to get, and it has the name of the disc golf course on it, and it hangs on all their bags. $700 came in through all the little tournaments they've had up there before COVID. People are using that facility big time. We're going to be doing a disc golf clinic, and again, it's easy to social distance with that. We're going to be doing a one-day lacrosse clinic, stick skills, not games, so we can keep people separated. And that's the main thing. We'd like to thank the Garza family, too, for donating $100 towards that. We are going to have 5 kids in the summer youth employment. Usually it's a group of 20, but we're going to use 5. There'll be an instructor from BOCES. They'll be up there helping and volunteering on the next 9 holes that are going in. So they're basket ready, and we'll have an 18-hole disc golf course up in the back of Davidge. So those kids feel accomplished when they're done with that. And the last thing you'll just see on there is we have just moving some monies around. We need a little bit more with materials and supplies between trains and reservoirs and all the special projects we're having. We just need to move a little bit of cash, but it's all going to a good spot. Parks are looking good, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback. And we love our new place. Thank you. It's great. A lot of people are stopping in to check it out. People that used to work there can't believe the changes. Still got some program areas to set up, but it's a nice new home for the Recreation and Parks Department, no doubt.
Any question for Chris? Thank you, Chris. City Clerk.
As the mayor stated, City Hall is open from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday, and we at this City Clerk's office, we're starting to do more birth certificates and death certificates, copies of them, and also copies of marriage licenses. Right now, we're doing marriage licenses electronically, and that seems to be working very, very well for us, for the people that are going to get married, and also for us. Most of the public meetings are on our virtual meetings now, and if anybody wants to join in or listen to that meeting, they can just go to our website, and on the left-hand side, there's a tab for digital meetings, and when you click on that, you'll have all the list of the meetings that are going to be virtual, and you could register for them at that point. If you have any questions, you can call our office at 845-346-4166. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Any questions? Okay, reports of Alderman Burr.
Oh, okay. I'd like to welcome Brian Smith back. He's a great fix for that water department, and I hope this time you're a 10-year here now, Brian. That's all I have this evening.
Alderman John Francois.
Yes, good evening. our last meeting, I missed the opportunity of taking the street department and sanitation department for our annual bulk pickup. I think this is the most stuff that I've seen on the side of the road for a while, and I didn't think those guys were gonna be done within a day or so. But they did a wonderful job, so I want to thank the commissioner and his department. They did a wonderful job this year. Thank you.
Alderman Kleiner?
Oh, I agree with that. Thank you, Alderman. Right now, Senator Schumer's in negotiations, but I just wanted to say, because it so directly affects us, we're looking to the county for revenue. We know we're going to be hurting for revenue, and when they brought up funding for state, local, and tribal relief, Florida Senator Rick Scott said, I object. That kills it. Funding for COVID testing and tracing, Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander, I object. Support for absentee voting in an emergency, Missouri Senator Roy Blunt, I object. Support for education and child care during COVID-19, Utah Senator Mike Lee, I object. We are going to keep hoping that we get funded, but we need to keep pushing, and hopefully, at some point, then we're going to need a vote. In the second ward, we've had a lot of kind of out of control speeding, and we hope to get that under control, working with the police department soon. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Alderman Rickasoon?
Good evening. I just wanted to kind of echo the mayor on the census. I've been trying my best to remember to repost the link for the census on my Facebook. I encourage my friends to share it to their friends. It does matter. It's important. It's literally 4 minutes. I did it, and I've got 4 kids to post on there. It's no time at all. It's no effort, but it means a lot to us in terms of our piece of the pie in the city and our revenues and funding. So it's important. It's important to our kids and how they get their schools funded. So please just take the time to get that done. As for school, the only thing I have to say is I really am thinking of the people who have to logistically figure out this next year, and as a mama for them, we'll do whatever I have to do to make it work, but we're all kind of waiting with bated breath, and that's all I have tonight. Thanks.
Alderman Johnson?
Thank you. So area of progress on the coach project. Mayor, congratulations. We talked briefly about the bike rental idea. I think now that we'll have Heritage Trail right in downtown, it'll be a great opportunity for downtown residents to pick up a bike for an hour and take a ride. Reservoir trails are doing great. This brochure on the maps was excellent. Thank you to all to put that together. I personally would still like to see some signs that remind people about tick-borne illness. I think we'll have a lot of people hiking that haven't hiked before, and they'll be bringing their dogs with them. And I'm sure it's Tickville out there in the Middletown Reservoir trails. A Will Slayer project is moving along. I see the millings went from a pile to a level ground, so we're making some baby steps there. I did get to tour Park and Rec. It's amazing. You know, it's hard to believe that the mayor had an idea to acquire that property not that long ago, and here we are. So congratulations to you and the team, and to all the people that made it happen. The building is reconfigured. You would think it was newly minted, the way they moved the walls around and put those archways in and stuff. It's great. A low-profile project for you, but not for me, is the cat sanctuary. It is moving along. We have quite a few cats there. The colonies are out of equilibrium, and Robin's working on the bingo building, which has had 20 or 30 cats in and out and around it in the last couple of years, so that's cool. A couple of us attended the sending off for Pastor Charles, and his successor will be arriving shortly. I missed the last meeting. I know Harry Rotolo donated some service in kind. He's a friend of mine, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank him. I think he always has the city's public interest at heart. Legislative Committee, you'll see the second resolution is on the, what we call the zombie polls. That started back in the fall. My apologies to the council. It kind of went by the wayside, but we're bringing it to closure. The only other thing on my punch list is the legislation for the reconfiguration of the plumbers. That is in the hands of the mayor, the Commissioner of Public Works, and Alex Smith. As soon as it's ready, we'll have a committee meeting and go with that. Brian Smith, welcome back. And on the idea of defunding and the mental health, I was fortunate to attend a meeting with the mayor and police chief, I guess a year and a half ago, on community campus, talking about the fact that law enforcement is being asked to handle mental health, and we're not really prepared to do mental health. And if you go on a mental health call, it could tie you up for 4 hours. And that's 4 hours you're not doing other things that you could do for law enforcement. So I really am saddened to hear that that was going to be the breakthrough, was having these two teams. And now that they're at risk of being defunded, talk about defunding, let's defund public health. I hope that the county will see better, because even one team for the east half of the county, one for the west, does not really meet the needs that these facilities have when people are in crisis. And who do they call? They call the police department, because they don't know who else to call. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alderman Green?
Thank you very much. Yeah, Alderman Kleiner mentioned it. We do have quite a few speeding complaints. And, you know, most of the time you get a little comfortable driving in your own neighborhood and you don't realize just how fast you might be going. So sometimes, you know, you have to double check yourselves, please, especially during all this where, you know, camps are closed and more people are out walking right now. You never know who might just run out from behind a car in your own street. So just be a little careful driving. You know, be really nice. We are working with the police department. They're being very helpful with us on that right now. And Mayor, I meant to ask when you were up speaking about the police meetings. I do know the term sanitize the body camera footage. Sometimes that gets a little confusing. Could you just elaborate on what sanitize means for people watching? I know they did mention it during the meeting.
Sure.
Thanks.
Basically, when the police are going to have their camera on, they're going to be entering people's homes. They're going to be talking. There's going to be conversations about children or things that are not public information. So we're going to get FOILs, which are requests for the copies of the tapes. The district attorney will be using those under the new guidelines for the state with the court issues. That all of this data has to be sent to the district attorney. Prior to being sent to them, we have to delete, for example, if they're in your house and your children's pictures on the wall, that has to be blacked out. If there's information on a table that has specific information about who you are or you know, maybe bank information. But also there are other things that will be coming up in a law that will be required that we cannot make public information. So a police officer will have to go through all of that information before it's turned over to the public, before it's made public, or before it's turned over to the district attorney. The district attorney can also do it, but you can also imagine the volume of them having to do that for every police agency in the county. So, and they'd probably review it again. But it is that by sanitizing, they mean they're taking out information that is not public information and removing it from what we turn over.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, and, you know, those meetings seem very, bringing up some tough topics, but everyone seems to be voicing their opinions and, you know, coming to some great progress. So look forward to seeing what comes out of those. And just hope everyone stays cool, because these are some really hot days. Thanks.
Alderman Tobin?
Nothing this evening.
Alderman Massey?
Nothing this evening.
The school board will have a virtual town hall meeting tomorrow, July 22nd from 6 to 7. So if anybody would like to log on, you have to register to their virtual town hall meeting. New business.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Green to concur with the mayor's appointment of Anthony D. Williams to the Recreation Commission to fill the vacancy of David Beckel, term ending March 24th, 2024.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green, second by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean-Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson to add to the city code legislation arising from the weathered and damaged utility poles, including double poles.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Tobin. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean-Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to reallocate proceeds of $109,688 to the Downtown Revitalization Project.
A resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean-Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin to approve a Toshiba agreement for the police department copiers.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, seconded by Alderman Kasum. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr to accept a donation of $800 for the disc golf course.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, seconded by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Graham Cassoon to authorize the treasurer to transfer $6,100 within the Parks and Recreation 2020 budget for materials and supplies.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kasum, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois to authorize the treasurer to reallocate capital lines relating to the DRI to account for additions recently made and true up the balances with community development.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner to authorize the treasurer to transfer $75,000 within the general fund balance to cover purchase of repairs to equipment for the sanitation department for the remainder of the year.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr to authorize the mayor to sign all legal documents for the Heritage Trail Culvert Replacement Project Grant.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, seconded by Alderman Tobin. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey to concur with the mayor's appointment of Brian Smith as Deputy Commissioner of Public Works, term ending December 31st, 2020.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Alderman Kleiner.
I just forgot in my remarks that I wanted to agree with the commissioner and say I think we're very lucky to have Brian Smith back. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Congratulations. That's all for new business.
Audit.
Mr. President, I move the accounts be audited, the claims be adjusted, and the city treasurer be authorized to issue warrants for their payment.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr. Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Move for adjournment.
So moved.
Aye.
Bitches.